How's it, guys? I don't even know where to start this video this morning, but suffice to say that I'm battling mentally, not with depression or anything like that, although I can feel the pangs of depression trying to attack my thinking. Fortunately, though, I do have the scriptures and the word of God to lean on, and prayer and hope through that. But I'll tell you why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. Every morning, every single morning, because I'm now getting to that age where sleep is something that apparently my brain and body have decided it doesn't need a lot of. So I'm usually up at about 4:30. And then I go, as is my ritual, I grab a cup of coffee. And for those of you that don't know, I vape. And I grab my vape and I go and put on the television and I watch the previous day's affairs around the world. And what is making me feel this way, I know, in that I'm watching what's going on around the world, and then I watch and I go and I read the comments of people on these things, and it absolutely blows my mind as to the mindset of people when it comes to anything that is contrary to what they support, or someone posts factual evidence that is contrary to what they support, and they just blatantly and blindly argue against it using whatever ammunition they have to try and defend their position. And I'm starting to wonder if these people are intrinsically bad and evil people, or if they are, for lack of a better word, just stupid people. And I look at this around the world. We've had this massive conflict in Israel, Palestine, right? And it started with an attack by a group of people who crossed the sovereign border and indiscriminately murdered and kidnapped thousands of people. And that sovereign nation responded and literally leveled the opposing country to the ground. And so eventually we got to a place where thousands of people lost their lives, and the world intervened, and a ceasefire and peace, the beginnings of a peace deal, started to emerge. Now we have the same people who started the conflict attacking the same country again, and when that country responds again, as they have with airstrikes, people are still pushing the agenda that the country that responded is illegally responding, when after a ceasefire deal, and I'm going to call it now, Hamas is again attacking Israeli citizens, and the Free Palestine movement are again crying because Israel dares to respond to that. So in other words, in their minds, the bullets are only allowed to fly one way. No response is allowed from anyone else. The bullets must fly one way. These people must accept that they are open game and free targets and must just die because we believe a certain thing. Now, you can say what you want about how Israel came to be in the position it's in now in terms of its geographical location, who is there. You can call them colonizers, you can call them an apartheid state, you can call them whatever you want. But the fact remains that under international law, they are legally there. Under international law, they are a recognized state and have the right to be there. And you don't have the right just to attack and kill indiscriminately without any hope of response. And so, if you want to take the risk of attacking an independent, internationally recognized country, you are going to reap the consequences of that. It's as simple as that. Regardless of how much you jump up and down and scream and shout, if you are not willing to find a political, negotiated solution and you want to continually bomb and throw rockets and kill people, you are going to get a response. And that's the reality of it. But what fascinates me is people will watch this and then still somehow make an argument for the justification of these actions. There is no justification. There's no justification. And if you want to attack someone, it's like me walking into a nightclub and attacking 6 bouncers. And those 6 bouncers, because I don't believe that nightclub should exist, because let's say for argument's sake they're selling drugs there, and I walk in there and I attack one of the bouncers, and then 6 of the other bouncers come and beat me to a pulp. And then I want to complain because I was beaten to a pulp. No, bud. You've got to use the avenues within the law to achieve your goal. Now, this brings me to the next point. This morning, I'm watching again this ad hoc committee, and again, I'm completely frustrated. Because while this is all going on, and while our country is in a crisis concerning the police, in a crisis concerning corruption within the government, the Minister of Police, as well as the President of the country, are not in the country. They're flying around the world. They're traveling, brother. They're on the jaw. And it is absolutely terrifying to consider that during this volatile period in our history, that our president doesn't have the wherewithal to be here to lead and to secure us, to put our minds at ease that, listen guys, we're going to sort this out. No, he's around the world begging for money in order that his party can contest the municipal as well as the next elections that will follow shortly after that. And the Minister of Police, who's supposed to be heading up this entire thing and managing it, is nowhere to be seen. Now, that then brings me to my next point, which is a completely different point and off subject. But I watched Ronaldo Gous about 10 minutes ago, speaking about an Afrikaner who is distancing himself from being an Afrikaner and is embarrassed to be an Afrikaner. Now, I want to tell you that I'm not going to speak for Afrikaners, but I'm going to speak for my heritage and my culture. I'm a mix and match of heritage and culture of European descent, right? And I want to tell you, South Africa, that it's time for us that come from that dissension, that ancestral line, to stop feeling guilty, to stop self-flagellating, and to stop dissing each other in terms of where we come from, who we are, and what we are. You've got to remember that our European culture built the greatest cities in the world. Our European culture brought us the greatest artworks in the world. Our European culture brought us the greatest literature in the world. Our European culture brought us the greatest philosophies in the world. Our European culture, namely France, brought us democracy. Our European culture brought us the Industrial Revolution and capitalism. Our European culture conquered the oceans and traveled around this planet. before other cultures even were able to build a wheel. Our European culture built the printing press. Our European culture created, along with the Americans, electricity. Our European culture created the internet. Our European culture created the motor vehicle. Our European culture created aircraft. Our European culture created space travel. And for all intents and purposes, our European culture spread the gospel of Jesus Christ and the Christian tradition around the world. Now, if you're embarrassed of that, then there's something wrong with you. And this is what we're seeing around the world today. We are seeing the influx of foreign cultures into Europe, into America, who are trying to destroy and break those cultures to the same level of destruction of the countries from which they come. We have seen in South Africa the policy of decolonization, which has done nothing but destroy everything that Western culture brought to Africa, that civilization brought here. Infrastructure, technology, agriculture, mining, all of it is being destroyed before your very eyes, to the point where South Africa is battling to achieve a goal that is internationally regarded as a human right. Two of them, one, fresh and safe water, and the second one, electricity. Unable to maintain these basics, yet we must feel guilty because we have grown accustomed to these technologies that our ancestors built. The first water infrastructure were the aqueducts of Rome. And we need to start understanding that yes, we have made mistakes, but we cannot let those mistakes, which we also have corrected, never forget that it was the British Navy and the English, along with certain Americans, who abolished slavery. America went to war over slavery. British sailors lost their lives fighting against the slave trade. And slavery was a worldwide cultural phenomenon, not limited to one specific group. Everyone at some point in their cultures either bought and sold slaves or were slaves themselves. Every culture. And we must understand that we have nothing to be embarrassed about. We are correcting the wrongs of our past. And we have always been like that. Where we've made mistakes, we've corrected those wrongs. We have not blamed others for our wrongs. We have accepted responsibility for our wrongs. And we have made the changes in order to correct those wrongs. We don't blame others for our wrongs. We correct them. And that is what separates our culture from every other culture on this planet. And we must fight for that. And those of you that are from that culture, that are now denouncing that culture, I'm telling you, you can go to hell, my friend. You can go to hell. Because I'm proud of my heritage. I am proud of my culture. And I will never change. I will never change. All right. I'm going to go on a little bit this morning. Sorry, it's a bit of a long one. It'll probably be about 20 minutes, this video. I get a call from a customs official in Cape Town with a Nigerian accent, trying to scam me. Didn't even get into the scam because I called them out immediately. And I want you to understand that this is the culture that we are living with on this continent. The culture of theft, the culture of scamming, the culture of political corruption, the culture of elite enrichment, the culture of blame, the culture of dependence, the culture, you know what I'm talking about. And therefore, we that do not subscribe to that culture must stand together and form enclaves of our culture where we can live peacefully and freely. I'm watching this debacle in Parliament, and I'm saying it again. How do you, after you've been in Parliament, go home and watch the video footage of yourself and sit back proudly and claim how well you're doing? This morning I watched a politician get called out about the absolute failure of his government in Limpopo, and he just rejects the findings, rejects them. Audited findings that prove that over a certain period of years, that individual has done nothing but bankrupt that province. And he sits there and goes, well, I'll just reject that. It is absolutely the biggest clown show in the planet and on the planet. And then just after that, I watch how the Iranian government freed a rapist and then executed his accuser. A guilty rapist, and executed an innocent accuser, an innocent woman. And I want to say to you that those are the people that this government and the culture of this country support. You must decide whether or not you are going to subscribe to that mindset. All right. Have a lekker day. Thank God it's weekend. Thank God it's Friday. I've got an entire weekend of studying ahead of me. And I'll find a space just to jump on my motorcycle for a little bit. But I hope you have a good one. Go have a braai. Chill out with your mates. Watch some rugby. And I'll chat to you guys again on Monday. God bless, guys. Cheers.